hit the horn. Yeah, hit it again. I'm not gonna hit it too hard because I am rocking a wicked migraine today. I got my Ray Charles Stevie Wonder shades on, but you know the show must go on. At least we're gonna try. Well, what are we doing? You already know. Food handlers in hand. Now it's time to get ready to rock the block. So we are in the what we say the we're in the G2 kitchen. And there's Rich over there. And we're getting ready to make our first ever rock the block. Oh my goodness, I can't even remember the whole name that I typed in there. The Bremerton Belly Butt Buster Burritos. Man, let me tell you, these things are going to be fantastic, fantabulous. So we're going to start making those now. We've got 200 eggs to crack. We've got roasted potatoes or pan fried potatoes with peppers and onions and garlic and what like oregano. That's the chef restoring there, right? I'm the sous chef here. He's gonna tell me what to do. Um, what else? What else is going in there? Cheese. I said potatoes, right? Oh, and spam. Oh man. Mm. So when I say that it's the RTB, Bremerton Belly Butt Buster Burritos, we mean it. And if you're feeling some kind of way about the name, you're gonna have to blame the folks on Facebook because they're the ones that came up with part of the name for it, right? So if it had to be in there, I put it in there. So that's what it is. The RTB 5B for short. That's what we're creating right now. So let me head on over to the kitchen and get to work because I got to go to work, right? Oh, I guess you don't really need to see me, huh? All right. I'm going I'm coming over there to join you, Rich. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Hey, that's it. Whoops. Let's see. They gonna be able to see me and you. Maybe they don't even need to see me, huh? They just need to see you. Oh, okay. Let me get over there. Put the milk in this one. All right, I'll mix it up. I'll be right there. Let me wash my hands real quick. All right. And get these. You don't realize people might want to actually be able to hear us in the kitchen, right? In order to do that, they need microphones. So when you have a migraine, start missing the small pieces. And I was supposed to be doing something. What was it? What was I doing? You were grabbing. No, I mean I should have had the microphone set up before we went live. Oh, okay. But that was my short-sightedness. That's what I was saying. Right. Things we do for love, huh? What you won't do for love. You tried everything. You won't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. My friends wonder what is wrong with me, that I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know, got a thing for you, and I can't let it go. People search around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. You want to do for love. You decide everything that you want to do in my world. Only you. I guess you wonder where I've been. I search to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let it go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me, that I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Sing it, Rich.
That I can't find love.
Woo! What I would not do, make me do for love. What I would not do, make me do for love. What I would not do.
That's what it's all about. Sharing that love out there.
I think I put another bowl out there.
Yeah, I got one full now, and I'm working on the second one here.
All right.
So we're almost there. We should throw some milk in there. And
Just give me a taste. I swear to you, I'll be everything. I'll be everything you want. I swear to you. Let me just mic you up here.
what about?
All right.
There we go.
All right. You got. I got a mic. I do what you like. I see guys and girls dancing. I do what you like. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. I think we're doing our thing, y'all. We're doing our thing. Chicken wing.
Yeah.
We're doing our thing.
Chicken wing doing the thing.
I guess we just
Yeah,
gotta
pick-
sing through the pain. Ooh, ooh,
Got a
ooh.
shell in there.
Yeah. All right. Now I can wash
Get
my
the shell
hands
out of there.
and meet you on over there. I'll meet you in the kitchen. Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Something's going on in here.
All right. Ooh, ooh. All right. Well, guess I get to take y'all into the air with me. All right. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Microphone coming in just fine. Wash for 15 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi more. 7, Mississippi 8, Mississippi 9, Mississippi 10. Oh, we can start from 1 all over again. Give yourself a healthy rinse. Ooh. Paper towel to dry your hair. Yeah. Ooh. Mm-hmm. All right. Now we ready to get it on. Let's get it on. That's the same church. No, Aaron, this is G2 Central. This is my house. It's Aaron Williams. It's concrete.
It was good.
Well, you can't talk back to him, but he can hear you.
Okay.
Like you won't hear it. Like he can't. He's not on the mic, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it looks like the old kitchen. Yeah. We're doing what we do. All right. Well, if anyone has any requests, we can't play any copyright music, unfortunately, because, they'll shut our stream down, which is horrible. However, there's other things we can do and sing about. Mm-hmm. That's
Absolutely.
Right. Let's see. Let's chill. Let's settle down. That's what I want to do. Just me and you. Let's chill. Let's settle down. Come on. Just me and you. I'm so happy to have you here. Standing right by my side. Is it a dream or a fantasy? I'm not sure if that's what the lyric is. Please don't wake me. All my love is for you. No. Whatever you... Uh-oh. That was working yesterday. Don't embarrass me, Blender. I need you. Whatever you want. Oh, there we go. Oh, I lost the tongue. Whatever you want, I will do. Oh, this is much better than using a whisk. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah.
You're the only one I want in my life. For you, I make that sacrifice. Oh, let's chill. Let's settle down. That's what I want to do. Just me and you. Let's chill. We need a little bit more power to break these eggs up.
Yeah.
If I had this 2 weeks ago, I'd have looked like a halfway professional. I didn't have this 2 weeks ago. I did not look like a professional.
But it was the first time, right?
Everything but. Yeah. Everything but. Oh, that is so much better. And I was instructed to pour milk in there and make them nice and frothy. So, that is what I'm going to do. Will this sit on the corner there like that? Oh, it does? Oh, hey. Hey. Yeah. Hey. It sits right on the end. I don't have to pretend. This up out of here. Oops. I'm trying. And there's still eggs in here. I was also told that I probably don't need to put salt in these eggs because of the Spam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
Because it would be already so salty.
Yeah, we don't need to be too salty.
Let's see.
Need a little bit of milk?
Yeah, I'll get it. You just stay there and I'll just move this over. Milk.
I'll wait for this.
I got the milk, yeah. Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Little Aaliyah.
Yeah. Looking good. There
There we
we go.
go. Ooh, wee. $200 eggs. That's a lot of cracking.
A lot of cracking.
Let's say, let's get it cracking. That's what they're talking about.
We're getting it cracking.
We getting it cracking.
Up in the soup kitchen. You can feed 100 people tomorrow, huh?
That's it. All right. Okay. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Yeah. Hook it up a little bit. All right. So we need pepper. I need garlic. Ooh, low on pepper there. Should I use some paprika?
Yeah.
Oh, wee. All right. So, if you're a non-cooker like me, getting this already minced garlic, great way to go. You ain't got to crack it, and it's all to the G-double-O-D. Now, only thing about it is, after some time, it really gets on there. So, I gotta give it a little to loosen it up, so I can open it up. Allegedly. I'll use this in a minute.
It's about 4:06 and 2 seconds p.m.
Is anyone talking to you?
Thank you. Want to let us know what time it was there. I think it's cracking time.
It's clobbering time.
Yeah.
Actually, after you wash your hands, I'll have you open it because I don't think I'm going to be able to open it with these gloves on.
All right.
Slide that out the way.
This out the way.
15 seconds.
You know?
15. All I got is 15 minutes. While you're doing that, I can get some paprika. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Paprika. Oregano?
That's
No.
yeah, we can put some oregano in there.
Okay.
We want to just
If I have some, I mean, I have it. Just saying. I'm gonna do what I can. Let's see. Oh, paper towels. Yep.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's chop the onion. That's red pepper. That's turmeric. We're not gonna do that. That's cilantro. We don't want that. Italian herb. No, that's not appropriate.
I'd put a pretty weird spice to it after the paprika.
Well, Italian seasoning? Is that the same as Italian herb?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I am the helper. Otherwise, it can get kind of strange. We actually want people to enjoy it. Oh, here's some oregano.
I can't get this thing open either. This thing is.
Yeah, this knife is just so sharp. You got it?
There it is. All right. Go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That knife is just super sharp. So giving it a bat is a little scary. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay.
So, and you're generous with the oregano. I mean, with the garlic, because you don't want vampires, right? Bam. We don't want no vampires.
We don't need it.
We ain't afraid of no vampires. Oregano, yeah. Oregano. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beat that all together. I gotta. Where should I preheat the potatoes? 350. Is that okay?
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna preheat the potatoes 350.
Ooh, looky. Ooh. Ooh.
Actually, I think I'd probably do about 400 on the potatoes.
400. Okay.
Yeah. 400. Okay.
There's enough room up here.
I think so. Make it work.
Make it work.
There we go.
Boom.
There's that.
That thing is full.
Yeah, it is.
Do like this. You want to flip and do the potatoes while I do this?
Yep.
I was actually supposed to do that first, but you were so far ahead of me. I got to catch up a little.
Yeah. That's all right. We got lots ahead of us, so. Lots ahead of us. This is an honor. Really pretty cool to be able to
So I've been
help
drinking
out with this.
water. I've had coffee, hoping the caffeine was going to help with my headache.
Uh-huh.
I had a Red Bull, hoping that might help. I've had probably a gallon of water already today. I sat in the dark. Didn't even make it to church. I took my blood pressure. I was thinking, man, maybe my blood pressure is off the chain. And it wasn't. And then I even took a COVID test because I was nauseated. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
my head is pounding.
Still, huh?
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was, but if I could just lay down in the dark, yeah, that's what I would be doing. Mm.
There we go. There we go.
So what are you doing right now?
All right,
Tell the
so
people.
I'm just putting these potatoes on. We're gonna go ahead and get some oil in here and get them nice and oiled up. Put a little bit of seasoning on it, and then we are going to throw these in the oven.
You think you can get away with the third bag or no?
And I think we're gonna
Oh,
have
we
to
got
do,
4 bags.
We're gonna have to do a
Whoa.
few times here. We got three or four bags.
Man, we got hungry folk we feeding.
Yeah, got a lot of people to feed. So,
ooh, can we sprinkle one of these on each one, or a quarter? No.
Right now we're pretty full there.
Man, you know I just ask questions. I have no idea. I'm just riding the wave.
Just riding that wave, huh?
That's it.
All right.
Yes, sir. That's what I do.
A little olive oil on there. Olive oil on this one here. There we go.
All right, let's see. All right, paprika, oregano, and garlic. Look at when you do it right there. Right there. Oh, and might be time for our next selection.
All right. Ran out of olive oil, so we're going to use just a little bit of
regular
oil. There we go.
Yep, these the RTB 5B. Folks gonna be feeling real good tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Always and forever, each moment with you is just like a dream to me that somehow came true. And I know tomorrow will still be the same. 'Cause we've got a life of love. I can pop those in there for you.
Well, let's put some spices on them first.
Oh, spices?
Yeah.
Oh, we need spices too?
Yeah, season these up a little bit. Yeah.
That won't ever change. And And what
No.
spices? Oregano?
We're gonna go with
Right
here.
Italian seasoning?
We want some of this Johnny's first.
Oh, Johnny's.
Get some
Oh,
Johnny's in the
Snapple
house.
Apple. Oh, yeah, orange pineapple. I
Yeah.
got Johnny's and Lowry's because, you know,
Okay.
people, you know, they got their own opinion on which way is better, you know? You got some Lowry's, you got some Johnny's. You got some people that like mayonnaise, some people like Miracle Whip.
That's right. Me personally, I particularly like Johnny's. I think this is the way to go
Yeah.
for a multi-season.
Mm.
And let's get a good little layer on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What else you want?
Then we're gonna go with some of this garlic powder.
Oh.
See here. Where did I see it? Right here.
Hey, I do have garlic powder. Hey,
Yeah.
I got some seasonings.
Yeah.
I ain't got a lot.
Yeah.
A little meat.
That. Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll throw some oregano on it and we'll toss it in the oven.
Little bit means a lot. Appreciate what you got. You want black pepper too?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, we'll do a splash of black pepper.
Oh.
We got plenty of salt in there with the Johnny's. Perfect.
Woo, woo.
Beautiful.
Oh, man, I got a perfect.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Now they can go in.
In there.
Yeah, 40 minutes? 30 minutes?
About 30 minutes, yes.
Alexa, set a 30-minute timer.
30 minutes, starting now.
All right, bam.
All right. Well,
So I guess now I got to
that's
get
the
out your
start.
way to do the eggs, huh?
that's the start. And yeah, we'll just, I'd say probably right now we just rest, to be honest. We got probably about a 20-minute window, I'd say.
Really?
Or we can start sauteing some of these peppers, but we got so many potatoes we're gonna have to do. You know, we're looking at an hour and a half cooking.
Okay.
So
Well, in the interim, I could probably get some pans out and wash those. Get those
Okay.
ready.
okay.
Plus, we're going to have something to transfer these things into. Didn't I take the pans out?
I am going to get ready for our next round of garbage here, and I will take the garbage out and wash my hands when we get back.
Oh, yeah. We don't need all these big boys.
We are completely full.
Two, three. Yeah, because we can scramble it and then put it in there, put the potatoes in there, right?
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah. Okay. Put that up in there.
Good.
Yeah.
Where was I? Always and forever.
Beautiful day.
The front door.
Each moment with you is just like a dream to me that somehow came true. Every day, love me your own special way. Melt all my heart away with a smile. Take time to tell me you really care, and we'll share tomorrow together. I'll always love you forever, forever. There will always be sunshine When I look at you, something I can't explain. Just the things that you do. And if you get lonely, call me and take second to give to me that magic you making every day. Love me your own special way. Melt all my heart away with a smile. Take time to tell me you really care, and we'll share tomorrow together. I'll always love you ever,
There we go.
forever, loving you is a thing that I planned for a very long time. Me and you and me, we is one. All right. Love together for a very long time. Loving you. All right. And then the frying pans are in this drawer here
Okay.
on the left.
All right. Let's
Two big ones there.
get this here.
Forever, ever.
Yeah.
Ever in a day. Ever in the day. Right.
There we go.
So we got our potatoes in, right? Well, we've got probably 4 batches of potatoes. We've got 2 things of, man, how many eggs do we have? How many do you think you cracked in each one?
Well, we got about 150 so far, I'd say.
Already in there?
Yep, right around there. Yeah, because we only got.
That's all that's left?
That's all that's left.
You are fast. Good
man.
Lord.
That's
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Man, I wondered, maybe we have one more big bowl.
Yeah.
Or could we pour this mix in one of those, or it'd be too hard to try to pour and scramble?
So I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to cook these on the stovetop. Hopefully we got like a big pan here that we can put these in.
Yep.
And we'll cook them down and then we'll just
put them in there, right? And then mix all this stuff together.
Yep.
Ooh wee.
Yep.
Man, you cracked 150 eggs. You are fast, sir. That's oh man.
That's how
applause.
That's how we do it.
Let's sit down for
time flies when you're having fun, right?
Man, it does. But I'd have been here for another hour trying to crack eggs if it was up to me. That's impressive. That's impressive. I do not have that skill, sir.
We'll go with this one.
I've got that one, and then there's another kind of deepish one.
This one should get quite a bit in there.
Mm-hmm. There's one more that's about the same size.
All right. And then we got...
See, and then so Rich, what was his background that you don't know? Is head manager at Boat Shed?
I was a chef at the Boat Shed. Yeah.
Chef at the Boat Shed.
Yep. And I cooked pretty much everywhere. So I've cooked at Applebee's and
let me tell you.
Olive Garden, a few different places.
So folks are gonna be eating good.
Right.
And I think what a lot of times what people overlook is the knowledge, skills, and abilities of those that are on the block, right? Those that are on ML King, those that are on Broadway. Some folks have a some serious skills, right? These are skills I do not have that I wish I possessed, but I do not.
Yeah.
I know my limitations. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's all right because it's like Bill Gates said, you don't have to be the smartest man in the world. You just got to know one. You
Oh
know,
man, all right.
So hey, you gotta where you're weak, I might be strong, and where I am weak, you are strong. So we just make that combo.
I like it. I like it. I'm picking up what you're putting down. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? All right, so I'm gonna get out of his way a little bit, let him burn. I'm gonna hop over here on the computer so I can see if folks are talking. Give a little response there. All right.
And I don't know how you feel about telling everybody where it came from, but you can if you want.
Yeah. Well, you want to tell the story while you're cooking?
We can do that. It's up to you.
All right.
Well, me personally, I am just trying to give back to the community right now because, along with Marwan, Mr. Cameron, there has been a few other people, and I won't disclose names for their privacy, but they saved my life, and I was having problems and found myself homeless and not doing well. So they pulled me out of it, and here I am today, working for G2 and trying to set sail on my way, getting back into the a little bit of culinary work here, like I've done in my past, and I'm
Using your
grateful.
skills.
Yeah, using my skills, doing a little refresh course, and I'm happy to do it. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I probably wouldn't even be alive. So I'm just grateful.
Well, if you don't mind, why don't we start at the beginning, right? When I would say what Dawn saw you down on ML King.
Yep.
Just talk about your experience there, like maybe the day before. How long have you been there? How did you get there? First off, because you weren't unhoused. How did you get there?
Right. So, my story is not a whole lot different than any other, alcoholic or an addict. I just I had everything going in life, and I had some complications with a woman, and things kind of went downhill, and one thing led to another, and I found myself using pretty much anything I could get a hold of, and conning and doing whatever I got to do to be able to just feed my habit. And
when did that start?
Well, that started I was down on the block for maybe I think maybe about 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, before that I was not far from. I was just living in a trap house, trap house to trap house, whatever, just trying to maintain survival. And it's really a rough road, and it's it's not easy to get back to where I am.
So what was the trigger for you? What?
So the main trigger was the girl I was with was going into a third trimester, and we lost a child.
Wow.
Yeah, we were going to find out the gender, and we had an apartment in Silverdale, and I was working for Safe Boats at the time. And when we moved in, they had a complimentary thing of champagne with a couple of glasses, and that thing just collected dust up on top of our fridge. And when we found out that the baby was gone, she came back and she just said, cracked it open, and she didn't realize that I was an alcoholic and that I was going to get more alcohol after that. You know what I mean? But yeah, and then that just set it off. I just started drinking real heavily, and that went on for a few years, and slowly but surely I just lost everything. There's ups and downs, of course, just like in life. And I tried to maintain working, but after a while I just couldn't even do that. I just lost everything. So
when was this?
that was about 13 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did you come out of that?
I came out of that because I just got tired. I got tired of being tired. you know, after abuse of my life and my body and everything, I just I just knew it was time. You know, I got into the fentanyl pills, which are very hard to cut. You know,
Mhm.
and thankful to you guys. You guys came down there and had an intervention on me. You know, I was working for you at the time and hiding it from you, and you were loaning me your truck, and you know, thank God that I was I was able to work for you really because I had just met you probably maybe 2 months prior to that. You know, and
What month was that? Like maybe
three
April,
three
May,
months.
maybe May,
Yeah,
May or June.
yeah, and you were just you were accepting from day one. You know, really. I mean, I tell everybody this everywhere I go, man. You're a really good guy, and you know you do a lot for the community, and everything that I've seen has just been beneficial. You're always constantly helping people. I mean, look, we're cooking for 100 people right now. Just out of the kindness out of your heart. You're paying for it. You're not even getting paid for it. So I think that's pretty huge, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I've got like 42 days now off of everything, and
Well, we got to rewind because that's a lot that you went through, and people don't understand what it means to go through detoxing. So, folks came down on the block, they saw you. What was like? Okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to change.
well, basically, man, I'll put it like this: I was smoking 100 pills a day,
100 pills a day.
100 pills a day, and smoking meth, and and everything else. It was really out of control,
Wow.
and I'm lucky that I'm alive. You know, I've seen a lot of people dying down there, and you have to get Narcan and bring them back to life. And I was Narcaned, you know, I was Narcan 4 times, and it brought me back. And paramedics showed up, and I was kind of just coming out of it, and start puking, and it's really bad. It's really really bad, and it's a pandemic. It's really, I mean, I'm really thankful to see on the news that they're talking about like getting rid of the shippers, and the people bringing it in from Mexico or wherever it's coming in.
Mhm.
I'm just really glad to see that because you know I'm living proof that this can be done. you know I don't even have any Subox anymore. I got the Vivitrol shot, which is what this band is about on my wrist here.
Oh, we'll get to that.
you
We'll
know
get to that because there's a lot. So, folks came down, right? So, a lot of times people will talk to you and say, "Hey, you don't belong here. Let's get some help." And folks don't often say yes the first time. Was that your experience?
yeah, this wasn't my first time trying to quit, because it is very hard. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not like some people might think. It's a miserable thing to come off of it. I mean, when you come off, you are hot and cold sweats. You're covering your sheets. You're curled up in a ball. You're trying to take as many showers as you can because your whole body just hurts, and you're puking. I mean, anything that you could think of bad going on inside of you and your entire body. That's what I went through.
So, knowing that whether you're high or coming down off of a high, that's what you're gonna have to go through to get clean. And it's like I'm not ready for that pain yet.
Right,
Right?
right,
That sound accurate?
and yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is that you know God blessed me with a capable body, and I'm still in pretty good shape at 38. But there's a lot of people down there that are in their 60s, maybe even 70s,
Mhm.
that are really. I mean, there's a good chance that they could die from this,
Mhm.
from just the amount of stress. They say that you can't die from fentanyl, but I don't believe that because your heart pressure races way up, and I know of people that have died from it. So
Yeah, it's not the fentanyl that kills you. It's the fact that with high blood pressure, your blood pressure is so high you can stroke out or have a heart attack. Right?
right.
That's really what the issue is. So, understanding that, what was it this time with the folks approaching you from Rock the Block that said, "Okay, yeah, I'm willing. I'm willing to go through it. Get me out of here." What was it? What was going on in your
you,
mind, if you can
you know
remember?
what it was, dude, is like honestly, I felt the love.
Mhm.
That's the only thing I can say. You know, I really genuinely felt loved from people. And you know, when I'm out in active addiction, there isn't any of that. You know, people are running and gunning. You know what I mean? They're just trying to take whatever they can get from you, and they, you know, they might act like they're your friends, but they're gonna rip you off as soon as they get a chance, right behind your back. You know, so there is no real friends out there. You know, they're just acquaintances. They're not somebody that really cares about you. And when you guys came in, I could just feel the genuine care. You know, Don Michelle said, "Look, dude, I'll drive you wherever I got to take you. You know, we'll do whatever we got to do." And she did. She drove me 2.5 hours, and I slept the whole entire time, so I was snoring logs next to her. And she didn't judge me not once. She didn't, you know, ridicule me, nothing. You know, she just said, "I love you, and I'm here for you," and that's huge. You
Yeah.
know,
So from my recollection on it, it was midnight one night, and me, Don, Michelle, and Bailey swooped up down there,
yeah,
and we had a conversation, and Dawn had a conversation, Bailey had a conversation with you, and you're like, "I'm ready," right?
right,
The challenge is it's midnight, right? There's nowhere to take you. You got to wait till the next day. The
right,
next day comes, we couldn't find you. You know,
yeah.
like, where are you, right?
Well, yeah, right.
So what happens at that time? It's like, okay, I wanted to go right then and there, but now it's several hours later, and your mind is thinking, get high again. Maybe I'm not ready for this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. And you know, I ran. You know,
Mhm.
I thought, screw this, I'm out of here. You know, I'm going to get, you know, because that's the thing with fentanyl is that if you don't get high, then you get sick. You know, your whole body starts hurting and you start getting physically ill. It's almost like a bad flu, like times 10. You know, it's just like that. And your body immediately tells you, I got to get high, you know? And so that's, you know, it wasn't that I was consciously thinking, oh, I'm going to try to screw over Don Michelle and them because they're willing to help me. It was just a natural,
Mhm.
you know, reaction that comes inside the body. You know, it's like self-defense. You see a punch coming at you, you block it. You don't
Yeah,
think
or it's
about
like
it, you
willingly
know?
putting your hand in a fire and holding it there. You know that that's what you have to go through.
Right.
So it took the RTB, right? It took Rock the Block. So you got Kimmy looking for you. She finds you. She's driving around with Bailey. She hops in my truck. Bailey's in the other car. G2 didn't have any drivers, so Don Michelle hopped in her car, drove you 2.5 hours to Longview,
Yeah.
right?
And man, I tell you, like love, like Kimmy, I got to tell you, we started off real rough because when she came down, I seen her trying to take one of the guy's homeless dogs, one of the homeless guy's dogs from him. I didn't know that they had a, you know, kind of a relationship or whatever it was, some kind of a friendship already united, you know,
Mhm.
and she was saying something about, I'm going to take him to somewhere else. And I heard that and I flipped out and I told my girlfriend at the time, I'd say, hey, baby, get out here and beat this chick's ass, you know, because that's the life. That's the
Mhm.
life of it, you know. And I told her go fuck herself and everything else, you know, and not nicely either, you know. And still, she was still willing to help me. So that's what I'm talking about. That's love.
Yeah, for sure. So Don Michelle takes you down there, and now you're down in Longview, Washington, 2.5 hours away, right?
Yeah,
Tell us about that experience.
man. I got to tell you, like I said, it wasn't easy. You know, I'll be honest with you. I was make a grown man scream for his life. You know, I was pleading and begging to God that I would be okay, screaming in this room that is like, you know, just a tiny room, but you know, you got nurses there taking your blood pressure and stuff, and thank God for them too, you know, because they're equipped with the skills and the talents to be able to, you know, react the right way when somebody's going through that. Because, you know, if you could have just imagined me like hurled up and just pissed off at the world, and I am puking my guts up and I am in serious pain and I just want to knock anyone out that comes next to me, you know, because I just can't even like control the emotions that are going on inside of me, you know. So,
So what
so
happened? Because you didn't make it in Longview. G2 had to drive back down and come and pick you up a few days later. What
right,
happened?
2.5 hours, man. I was out in the middle of nowhere because I went to the Family Health Wellness Center, which were really good. They were very professional, and then they took me to a treatment called White River or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly the name, but maybe later on in the day,
Yeah, we'll
we
get
can,
into it,
we
yeah,
can get
for
back
sure.
to that. But I got to tell you, man, it was full of people that were pretty much straight out of prison, you know, and I was there on my own cognizance. I was trying to do the right thing, not to say that I'm any better or worse than them, but it was that mentality.
Right.
And
You
so,
also weren't convicted of a crime,
right,
right?
I wasn't
And that could be
convicted
kind
of a
of
crime.
dangerous, it seems like.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, maybe, you know, but
Mhm.
I don't, you know, an addict's an addict is an addict, you know,
Mm.
and I didn't really care about my safety at that point, you know, not
Mm.
I didn't really think about it because I'm so used to that mentality,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
But nonetheless, you know, they put us in the way that they had the treatment set up was there was 2 rooms, A and B, and I was in A, and I mean the room was no bigger than the house, and there's 30 guys in there or something, you know, and we're all, you know, sleeping next to each other on prison made beds, basically, you know, just
all trying to detox at the same time?
yeah, you're going through it. We're all going through it at the same time. Yeah,
In
absolutely.
one room, 30 people in one room.
Yeah.
All detox.
Yeah. And
What?
as soon as I got there, the whatever house president or whatever he was straight up came up to me and was like, "We expect you to get into conflicts. We expect it. Like it's gonna happen. So just know that. Like anybody, you know, if somebody comes up, you're probably gonna have a confrontation. You know, just expect it because that's what happens here." And I was like, "All right," you know, like it's not the first thing that I would think of coming from a treatment, you know, because I'd
Right.
been to Sundown Ranch before, and Sundown Ranch is a great place, you know. I mean, they are just like they're number 4 in the nation or something like that.
Wow.
So I mean, they are top notch as far as treatment centers go. And then going to this one was like, man, this is not the same kind of thing at all. And but the very worst thing that happened there, it wasn't the people, you know, because the people were just like me, just so to speak. But what it was is the counselor.
Mm.
You know, I was in it was my very second day. You know, I got there that night. I spent the night. Then the next day, she wants to do my intake interview. You know, and she starts jabbing me in places, talking about my aunt that just died, and I didn't even know how she got this information. But my aunt was my best friend. You know, no matter what ever happened in my life, my aunt was there for me. No matter if I was in addiction or not. You know, she kept me from getting my ass beat from my dad. She was there for me my entire life, you know. And so when she starts poking around talking about my aunt and stuff, it it made me so mad I started to just tear up and start crying, you know. And so right during the interview, um, I asked her if I could go out and have a cigarette break, you know, because it was our allotted time for that cigarette break, which that particular treatment only had a cigarette break every other hour on the odd hour. So every 2 hours you get a cigarette break. And while we were doing our intake was time for my smoke break time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked her if I could have a cigarette, and she said no. And I said okay, and I continued on with her questions. I thought maybe she misunderstood me or something, you know. And so I continued on with the questions, and I'm just weeping, crying, you know, and going through all these emotions that I hadn't even experienced ever in my life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the thing, man, I'm just sopping wet at the, you know, and I'm just like this, you know, and I can't control any of my emotions. And I said, listen, maybe I misspoke, or maybe you misunderstood what I was saying, but maybe, you know, is there any way that I can go out and have a cigarette break now after our intake, you know? And she said, no, it's only 2 hours. But that wasn't true, because now I just missed that first 2 hours for that smoke break. And then I had to wait for the another 2 hours. So it would have been 4 hours. And if you're an addict or an alcoholic coming off just fresh off the streets, I just got through puking my guts up. I'm in severe pain, and now I'm emotionally just fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that cigarette, and she told me no. And so I said, you know what? Fuck yourself. I'm out of here. And that was that. And she said, well, you know, fine or whatever. She was not professional about it. She never tried to talk me into staying, nothing like that. She just said, well, I'm going to start your your paperwork to get you out of here. And then I was kind of just astounded by it. I was like mind blown, like, what?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just could not believe it. So, and mind you, this was record breaking heat. It was 107 degrees out there. And at least that's what the news told me in the morning. It was 107 degrees. And so I go up to the main office, right? And they make me pull up my bed just like they do in jail. And I got to go let them do their inventory on the bed, get my belongings out of this locker that they got and everything. And then I got, now I'm carrying 2 bags of stuff. I got a bag full of clothes and a bag full of paperwork. And I went up to the front office and I told the front office lady, and she goes, no, she wouldn't do that. And I said, yes, she would. She did. And I was polite the entire time. I was not rude to her or nothing until the very end of the interview, when I was to the point where I was like, you know what, this is bullshit, and she didn't believe me. So I wrote it down on a notebook. Right. And so I said, okay, here's what I want to do. I want you to read this. You're now my witness, and I asked them to sign it, the note that I wrote, which I ended up being 3 pages, and I asked them to sign it several times. Even though the lady was on my side and thought that it was complete crap, she wouldn't do anything because I felt like maybe she was afraid for her employment from this counselor, because the counselor had been there for so long or whatnot, but I did bring the counselor out right in front of her, and I said, this is what I wrote. I'm going to read it to you. And if anything's incorrect, please let me know. And I read exactly word for word, verbatim, everything that I had wrote. And she looked at me and she just said, yep, that's true. Here's your discharge paperwork. Now I need you to leave the property.
Wow.
And
Alexa, cancel timer. And
so then I had to leave the property, and out in the woods where I'm seeing eagles flying above me, I've seen 5 bear droppings along this walk. I must have walked 3 miles in this heat. And then finally I walk up to a couple's house, and along the front of it, it says Trump. And I thought, man, if I walk up to this house, I'm probably going to get shot. You know what I mean? And like nothing against Trump at all, but it was, that immediately was my first initial thought. Turned out they were great people, really nice. The wife brought out some tea for me, and she allowed me to sit at the bottom of her driveway until you guys got there.
Yeah, because we're 2.5 hours away.
2.5 hours, so I was outside for hours in 107 degree heat. There's no shade anywhere unless I go into the woods, and there's bear shit along the way. And it's only a 2-lane road with no sidewalks, none. It's like, you see the white line, and here's the gravel, and then it goes down.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so there's nowhere to walk, and there's just nothing but semis. Vroom, 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 It was scary. It was really, really scary. But
so tell me, so Rob picks you up, and the potholders are, you see where the kitchen sink is? Look,
yes,
there you go. So Rob picks you up, and you hop in the van with him, and talk about that. What was your ride back like? You have any conversations?
So I get in the van, and initially I went from angry, of course, because I just experienced what I had and sweated out everything that I had left in me. I felt like I was going to die. And, needless to say, because I'm still going through withdrawals pretty much at this point, and then Rob shows up, and, he gets to talking to me, and we have a lot in common that I wasn't aware of. And he's really a great guy, just a great dude, just really loving. And, so once again, I was back to emotional and, kind of just crying, I didn't know. Just the love that I felt was catastrophic, just no words can explain it.
While you pull that one out, let me just pause for a second. Everyone, as you are joining us, thanks. For those of you that know Rob, he has probably not ever been described as loving, but he is. in his way. You know, he does have a heart of gold. I don't know if he's listening right now. I know there's probably some people that are snickering and laughing, but that guy is tireless, and he'll give you his last cigarette uh, and make it happen. So that's for real.
Yep, and he did. He took me and he bought me food, and he gave me smokes, and he took care of me when I needed it.
So you finally get back up to Bremerton. What happens then?
So then I get up to Bremerton, and my girlfriend at the time was still in active addiction, which she is now off to the races herself, going to detox because of Don Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing her work, doing her thing, and you know, and so life is good there, and you
But
know,
I think you wanted to see her. So Dawn had made it happen because at this point you have to leave, right? You've made this decision. All right, I want to get clean. I want to detox. I'm done with this. I take the trip. I run. They find me. I take the trip. I get there. I try. I have this horrible experience. I basically get kicked out of this treatment. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just coming back to Bremerton. And I remember that Dawn told me that you said, you know what? I still want to do this. It just can't be done here.
Right.
And so Dawn used all of her connections and leveraged all of that to get you into KRC.
She did.
And I remember Rob said to me that you wanted to see your girlfriend, right?
Right.
Because the thing is you had made this decision, which is a huge one. And now you're a couple. You're separating to get clean. She's still in it.
Right.
You're gone 2.5 hours. You come back. You're still tethered to the people that you care about and love, right?
Right. You know, and I didn't even get a chance to tell her anything about me leaving the treatment. I just, you know, I
gotta go, right?
I said, I gotta go, you know? And sometimes, I mean, that's what separates the men from the boys, you know, when you gotta, you know, when it's time, it's time. And that's what it was. It was time, and the doors opened up to me, and you know, I don't know how anybody else feels, but I love God, and I feel like God opened up those doors for me, and you guys were a part of what He wanted done, you know, and you guys helped execute it, and here we are today.
Well, I mean, not quite, right? So you have to go to KRC. So you're there. You're still going through detox. Explain to people what detox is like.
Okay, so detox, you know, it's miserable. You're at the depths of hell, really. You know, I mean, you are just wishing you were dead because of all of the pain that's going on inside you. And you know, most treatment places will get you off of fentanyl by switching you over to Suboxone or Subutex.
Explain that to people. What is Suboxone?
And so Suboxone is naloxone and then basically opiates. It's basically like it's a legal way to get you off opiates. But when you're an opiate user, you don't get high from it. You know, it just makes it so you feel okay to be able to proceed on with your day.
Gotcha.
You know, and that generally you can't take the Suboxone until you've been going through it for about 70 hours of your detox, which is
wow.
You know, you're puking and
vomiting, the diarrhea, the body aches, the just everything
for nights. Yeah. And then when you finally get to pulling through and you take the Suboxone, I mean, my back was just like, it felt like I was hit with the sledgehammer 50 times over again, you know, and just severe pain. And so then,
well, you guys were sharing with me that people can get addicted to Suboxone. Very
much so. And there's a lot of people that stay on the Suboxone instead of, you know, getting off of Suboxone and being free of any kind of opiate, which was, you know, my goal ultimately. I wanted to I wanted to be free of substance use in general. I didn't want anything to hold over my head, and I wasn't going to accept it, even though the counselors didn't agree with my decision, and really, the doctor didn't really even agree with it, to be honest, because they feel like you should wean yourself down, and it should be, you know, it should take some months to do it, to be able to get off the Suboxone, because what happens is you get addicted to Suboxone and you go through the same withdrawals that you did from the fentanyl.
Wow.
Right. Right. So, they don't want you to go through that kind of pain while you're in treatment, trying to learn things, and get the tools that you need to be able to go out into the world again, because let's be honest, as an addict living in a tent downtown, I didn't really have the basic necessity tools to survive.
So let me ask you this, because listening to your story and having the conversation with you and Dawn and myself yesterday, I don't see how anyone could say, you know what, I'm just going to detox on the street in a tent. That seems like a statistical impossibility. Like it might be one in 150,000 that are able to do that.
I got to tell you, man, I am not one that's weak for pain. I could put myself through a lot of pain, and I don't think I could have done it on my own. I just don't, because the natural chemical that produces in your brain that says emergency, emergency, emergency just takes over, because now you're going through this pain, and for $2 or $1 or whatever it may be, you can fix this pain.
So a pill is $1 or $2.
That's right. $1 or $2.
Wow.
It's so inexpensive to be able to,
wow.
Of course my habit was much higher, but for $4 or something, I would be able to feel okay, where I wasn't feeling completely ill and like hurting, So yeah, no, I don't think without going to detox, I don't think I could have done it.
And it's a short high, right? For people that don't know.
Right.
What is it called? Fentanyl, which is called blues on the street, blue pills, right?
Right.
The high lasts, 15, 20 minutes? How long does it last?
Yeah. It only lasts maybe 15 minutes, and just like any other kind of drug, except for maybe alcohol, the more you do it, the shorter the high stays, so once you've been doing it for a while and you start to build up this tolerance, I could smoke 10 pills in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so it sounds to me like it could be, maybe I don't want to be high right now, but I don't want the pain. So either of those choices is going to continue to keep you using, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because either I need to stay high so I don't have to deal with what's going on,
right?
Or I want that feeling,
right?
Or I'm gonna start detoxing and I'm starting to get sick.
That's it.
It's just this vicious cycle.
Absolutely.
And so you have to be pulled away from it in order to break from it.
Yeah. With, like I said, without the help of others, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't be here.
So you make it through your treatment for 30 days. What was that like?
So man, that was rough. That was rough. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that one either, because of my mindset and where I was at with it, and not wanting to be an opiate addict any longer. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I just wanted to be done, free of it, and so I went from 16 milligrams of Suboxone, which anybody that knows anything about Suboxone it's 2 strips, and it's quite a bit, it's quite a bit of Suboxone. I went from 16 milligrams to nothing in a week.
Wow.
Yeah. And it sent me into withdrawals real bad again.
So you had already went through these worst withdrawals, the worst sickness that you ever experienced in life.
Yeah.
You made this concerted effort to say, you know what, I'm getting off the Suboxone, knowing it's gonna trigger withdrawals again.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and you do it.
Yeah.
So what were you telling yourself for those that, maybe on the fence and thinking about, I don't want this anymore, but I know exactly what Rich is talking about. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Well, what did you tell yourself to get yourself through?
So, there was a time where I went to my counselor and I was sitting there just like this. Oh God, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I can make it. And they were telling me nobody's gonna fault you if you go back to taking your Suboxone. Nobody's gonna fault you because nobody does this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, in my mind, I'm thinking of my family outside, I'm thinking of the people that love me, that care about me. And I just know for myself, in my addictive personality and in my path that had brought me up to this point, right? Because let's face it, I'm out there on the streets and I'm not a nice guy. I'm not a good dude. I'm not doing the right things. I got a good, genuine heart, but it's deep down in there, just hidden with all this corruption, and I like to say that the blues are the devil's gift to you. That's what it is. The devil's just saying, here's my gift, take it. And that's what it is. I mean, it just takes people that are good people and makes them have bad decisions. Let's say, I'm not going to say bad people, but I'm going to say bad decisions.
Good people do bad things.
Good people do bad things.
So let me ask you this. Not only are you like, I want to be done with this, I'm going to go through the pain and whatnot, but a lot of times people don't make that decision because like what's on the other side? I'm still going to be homeless, right? You ended up breaking up with your girlfriend. We could talk about that if you want, but you might have some supports, but technically you're kind of going back to the street. Like you don't know what's on the other side, right? There's no job lined up. You don't have a car. You don't have, so what was it understanding that is still like, yeah, I know I'm going to be, I don't know what tomorrow brings as far as basic needs, but I know I got to do this.
Well, I tell you, I'm not trying to gloat anyways, but my mom is a very, very successful, let's say successful person, and she's taught me a lot of things throughout my life, even through some addiction, because she carried me through a lot of it. But she told me once, for every second is a chance. So for every second you got a chance to do something different, and for me, at that very moment, I didn't need to focus on, hey, what am I going to do when I get out of here? Because that kind of stuff will trigger people and get them out the door. If you're worrying about that kind of stuff, then you're out the door already, so I didn't want to be that person, and I wanted to be that percentage that makes it. And I pray every day that I continue on my path, because I don't really know, I don't know what's in store for me tomorrow. I just got to live for today, for the 24 hours. I'm sober for 24 more hours.
So you get out. Where do you go? And talk about why you've got the wristband. What is that?
Okay, so when I'm getting out, I obviously, while I'm in treatment, I am given a set of tools from the counselor that they provide there, that kind of it's kind of like you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. Well, they led me to the water and I drank a lot.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna drink this whole damn pond. And so I hit the ground running in treatment, just like I did as soon as I got out of treatment. While I was in treatment, I'm calling Oxford Houses, I'm calling Eagle Wings, I'm calling Marwan Cameron, I'm calling G2, I'm calling Don Michelle, I'm calling my parents, which I haven't spoke to in 13 years. I'm pulling out every single resource that I can. I go through the withdrawals from Suboxone and I catch COVID at the same time.
Wow.
So I it was a really rough patch for me. It was really hard.
Did you ever feel like the world was conspiring against you? Like, look, I'm trying to do everything right here. I go down 2.5 hours to Longview. That doesn't work out. I get back in. I get on Suboxone. I get off that. I go through withdrawals again. Now I got COVID at the end. I'm sick again. Like,
yeah, it was just like, is this ever going to end?
Come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was here. I was up to here, but I just knew that if I stopped, then I'm back to the streets, and nobody's going to give a shit about me at that point. That's reality.
So you had COVID. What happened?
So I had COVID. I didn't know. I was in severe pain. I'm trying to sit through these groups, and I'm just sweating. I'm puking again. I'm back to the same thing. I damn near went through withdrawals for 28 days. That's really. I mean, I had a week off. I took the Suboxone for a week, and then I was right back to withdrawals, and then I caught COVID and I had to get segregated to where I was in a room by myself.
Wow.
And so then the treatment ends up closing because too many people are catching COVID, including employees. So they close and they say, hey, you guys got to go somewhere. And now I'm faced with that. And I'm like, shit, here I am with COVID. I can barely move. And now I got to figure out where I can go. My family's not going to let me come to their house with COVID. They're too afraid of it. I don't know where to go. Nobody's going to openly, hey, come on in with your COVID. You know what I mean? But thank God that I did reach out to my family because my dad was able to put me up in a hotel room. I lived in a sauna for a few days and I just wrote it out.
And so it's important to lean on your resources, right?
Absolutely.
Put your pride on the shelf, make that phone call, ask for the help.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal.
Ask for help because there is a lot of help out there for suffering addicts. If you want it, if you want what I have now, you can get it. It's obtainable, but you got to put that foot in front of the other.
So what's awesome is me tapping back into the story is you ended up at the Red Lion, and it happens to be, this was last Friday, right?
Right.
So we're talking about a week, people. This is last Friday. I'm at Denny's for my weekly, meet the candidate for the election from 2 to 4 at Denny's. And I get the phone call because the wires got crossed. And so G2 wasn't able to provide the ride to the hotel. But there were still needs, right? Rich needed to eat. Rich needed, cold medicine, right? Things like that. So shout out to Tim, Rock the Block, right? When people are struggling and they start to get that success, they just want to give it back. They want to pay it back.
Right.
And he came up to Denny's, went and bought everything, just gave him the cash and he made it all happen, right?
Yeah.
And so all three of us ate the same meal that night. We all had a grand slam.
And it was great. It was a grand slam. I loved it.
So we all had the same breakfast at Denny's and and you and I still hadn't talked. So people don't realize it's like people say like, oh, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. You're in the background. You might not talk directly to me, but things are happening.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how'd you know that? It's like I there's not too much I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So you're in the hotel. You've got your food. You've got your cough, your sick supplies, right? So you get through. Then what happens then? Where do you go from the hotel?
So then, while I was in treatment, as I said, I was calling the Oxford houses and so forth.
How did you know to call Oxford houses?
From my counselor.
That's what you were talking about, using those tools, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
shout out to the counselors.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, great counselor, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great counselor. KRC, like I said, I've been to a few treatments, and KRC is not the most luxurious treatment by any means. It's attached to a jail. It's not, you're not going to go in there for luxury by any means. But
and this is Port Orchard, guys, so you know.
But let's face it, anything's better than sleeping on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And there, but I tell you what is there at that place is great employees. Miss Julie, love her to pieces. She has been with KRC for 20 plus years. The employees there have been just serving and trying to help people get better for years. All of them have, and they all have a genuine care You know, there's Miss Nadia, and then she's one of the counselors, and then there's Bruce, and then there is Mike, and those are the three main counselors. Now that Rachel's, she's kind of an up and coming. I think she's a detox counselor. You know, there's other outfits, you know, attached to it, but those are the three main. And I tell you, man, when they give you a lecture, you feel it throughout your whole body. It's like cold chills just come through you in every single lecture that they do. It's just that touching.
Nice. All right, so that's powerful. So you're using the tools. You're calling around to Oxford homes. So what happened?
So I called 3 Oxford homes that I was accepted to 3 different ones.
Okay.
And
What'd you say? How did that happen?
So you go through an interview process. They ask you a few questions, you know, and you answer them to the best of your ability, and then the house votes on it.
So tell me, why do you think they picked you? All 3, right? Yeah, you got to pick.
Yeah.
Why you? What did you say in those interviews? What did you express that they believed?
You know, I think I was just myself. You know, I'd like to say I'm a pretty likable person. Genuinely, I can talk with anybody. I'm kind of a chameleon type of a person. I just told them the truth. That's it. You know, they asked me what my drugs were. I told them. They asked me, you know, do you have bad anger issues? I told them. They told me if somebody was in the house and they got high and they came to you and said that they got high or something, what would you do? You know, they ask you a series of questions and you answer them to the best of your ability.
Nice.
And then at the very end, they say, well, why are you a good candidate for the Oxford House?
And so you got to pick your 3 choices. So again, you got this wristband. What is that? Explain that.
So this is Vivitrol. I am no longer on Suboxone. So I'm no longer having any opiate addiction. Nothing that holds me to anything. Except for I have to go get this once a month.
I got to give you the horn for that. Hold on. Nothing to hold you. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, nothing to hold you, you know, and I'm free of addiction completely. I have no addiction. I don't get sick from nothing. I don't have to take Suboxone every day. I go in and I take 1 shot in the ass cheek, and that's it.
And what does that do? Because it lasts a month. What does that do?
It pumps noroxone in you, so it
the slow time release.
Yeah, and it basically covers your dopamine receptors that you know tell you whether you're getting high or not. You know.
Okay.
And that's why people get high, is because the dopamines, you know, that triggers something in your brain. You get high, and you get that feeling. You get that, you know, whatever the feeling is. Either you're up or you're down, whatever it is.
So you can't get that no matter what you do. So
now I've just got naloxone that blocks it. So even if I wanted to go out and smoke fentanyl today, I can't get high. I can't even get high. And that's why I have to wear this bracelet, is because if I was to get in a car accident or something,
people need to know.
The doctors have to know that I'm on this so that they don't give me any narcotics because you kill me.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Right, because they would be ejecting you and it's like, it's not taken.
Right.
And they would just keep giving you more.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't feel from the Vivitrol, you don't get any kind of high. Nothing. You know, it's just, I feel normal. I feel like a normal person.
All right. So it's Sunday. You it was just last Friday. You were moving into an Oxford home. Is that what it was?
Yeah, and I'm in the Oxford home.
Okay. So how did you end up here today cooking for the Rock the Block?
Well,
talk about the last week.
I went in and I was following up. Like I said, I hit the ground running, and I was out, you know, looking for employment and better opportunities for life. And I ran into you, and I was talking about you there, which was really weird, you know, because they were like, "Oh yeah, tell him to come in," and I was like, I just seen him in the lobby. I just was taking pictures with him.
So he's talking about Skookum. So if you guys remember on Facebook, I was doing a morning podcast about missions, and I was on my way for my retreat for the Kitsap Regional Library, which was at Skookum in one of their rooms. And so coming out at the end, I walk out, and there Rich is in a nice button up, which of course you already know I love. I'm a sucker for, you know, dressing up and looking good. and he's there taking care of business, right? And so that's the first time that I'd seen him since that midnight.
Yeah. Boy,
Continue.
was that a difference, huh?
Yeah. Continue.
I think I think I gained 30 pounds in treatment or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was cool. That was really cool. And you said, hey, why don't you come see me tomorrow? Let's get to work. Let's get back to work. And so I did. I got a hold of you the next day and I said, hey, what's going on? Can we, do some work? And, one thing led to another. And I think a couple days later, here we are cooking for.
So not even 2 months ago, you're unhoused in full addiction on ML King. Today, you're in my house cooking for people that are on ML King.
And you got me my license back.
Mo, hit the horn.
Yeah. You paid for my license out of the kindness of your heart, because I had child support that needed to be caught up and stuff, and you made it possible. So that's what Marwan Cameron does. That's what he be doing. He be putting it down. For anybody that don't know, Mr. Cameron is putting it down for the people that need this love. He is sharing it.
It's a secret. All right, we just try to do what we can, and that's really it. And again, as I tell everyone, it's not me. The only reason I'm able to do anything that I do is because of the team that is around me, and I absolutely mean that. Keep in mind, people, that you don't do anything alone. It takes other people, and it's not codependent. It's interdependence. That's what it is, right? And if we're going to address this nationwide issue, it's going to take all of us together. And as you heard from the story, right, this was a very non-traditional way to get someone off the block and get them to the other side. And all parties have to be willing, right? And he has to do the hard part, right? We don't go through detox. But making those resources available. There's no budget item for us to charge off on a ride. Like, there's no agency. We can't build Salvation Army or Kids at Mental Health or any other agency for that ride, right? It's just something that we eat, trying to do the work. And so in that, if we were to add up what did all that cost and man hours and everything else, I don't know, it might have been like $5,000 or $6,000 if you think about trying to find Rich and, folks coming out at midnight, right? I mean, if you're part of an agency, you're probably getting overtime or double time if that's even allowed. And so it takes non-traditional methods in order to make the change that we're trying to, that we want to see, right? We are dealing with something that we haven't seen before since the crack era, right? And this stuff is wicked, right? It's synthetic. Folks are mixing it together. We haven't even had a conversation about Trank, which can go along with it. It's brutal out there. And so when you understand and you can humanize the people that are down on ML King and down on Broadway and in the different encampments and what it takes, right? That the heart can be willing, but to go through it and understand that, one, you have to be in the right mind, or maybe even in the wrong mind, to think that, you know what, I'm going to go through this pain and get to the other side. But all of that uncertainty, right? Rich was talking about it earlier today. He's like, you know what? We were sitting here eating Wendy's before we got started. And he's like, you know what? I don't have $1. And I'm good. Faith, definitely, you've heard that in his story, right? Belief, he has also a history of success. But the big thing is having a group of individuals or organizations that believe in you, that are going to continue to push. The word that you hear is love, right? And that's not a word that you can put in anyone's mouth. That's something that they have to give out, right? And say that's what they feel, right? You can say, oh yeah, we just love on the people, right? Well, that may be what you're doing, but is that what they're receiving, right? And can they articulate that back? And so I think Rich was able to feel the love, right? And that helped strengthen him to say, yeah, I'm going to go through this. So now he's on the other side, right?
Absolutely.
And, we're doing the work. So you'll see him out and about. You might have seen him driving my car yesterday, right? Running errands, going in and prepping stuff for today. He's down at G2 and getting the hash browns and getting the eggs and getting stuff ready. And that's really what it is, right? I'm a firm believer in an idle mind is the devil's playground. It's one of the reasons why I lament the absence of Sunday service and the absence of a really robust transit system here in Kitsap County. Because if you can't get around and you're kind of stuck, it's easy to fall into the trappings of doing just some other things, right? And there's issues like that on Key Peninsula and a lot of other places where folks are kind of place bound where they're at, and there's not a lot of opportunity. And so, that again, from a political standpoint, transportation is very key to me. As we have a transportation company, but it's so much more than just giving a ride to an individual, right? It also, there's an element in there that addresses trying to dismantle and break through this epidemic of drugs that have taken siege on our country and our American citizens. So that is a very profound story. I really appreciate you telling that story and being vulnerable. One, you didn't have to do that. It's very hard to do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
People know who you are, right? You're living in, hey,
Yeah.
this is who I am. A lot of people
Absolutely.
might have some shame in that, and I want to keep it withdrawal to myself. I don't want to deal with the judgment. So thank you so much for telling that story.
To be honest, for me, there is that, of course, and there's some embarrassment, and there's pride and stuff that that could hinder that. But to be honest, if there's anybody that's watching this that knows me, I want them to know that it's possible. There is people out there that will help you. I will help you. Marwan will help you. There's people that will love you genuinely, and we're here for you. So just know that it can be done if you want it. If you want it, you can have it.
And you know what's so powerful? He went to go see his mom yesterday, so I let him use my car to do that. And he leaves. Dawn was here. So Dawn leaves. He goes down to the block. He ends up on the block, right? And he just wants people to see, hey, look, I'm on the other side. You can do it too, right? And just as he said, that's coming from him. I can help you. Now, we want to make sure that he's safe, right? Because there is this, I want to say euphoria, right? But right now, you kind of feel like, yeah, I conquered it, and I want other people to conquer it. We do want him to be safe. So, please be with one of us when you're down there, right? Because there's still the trappings and everything else, and whether or not the drugs can keep you from getting high. It's kind of like you want to be careful putting yourself in those situations where you can be triggered, right? So having that support system around is good. Even when we feel like we're the strongest, we don't need help anymore. You always need help.
Always.
Right? You always need that support system. I see from the time that I've been doing not just work with this particular population, but in all the times that I've been teaching and advising and case managing and mentoring, different individuals over the last 20 years, is the folks that tend to struggle the most are the people that get to a point where they're like, I'm good. I no longer need any help. I don't need any support. I got this and I'm on my own. Right. And they may actually be for a short time, right? They're good. They're good to go. They're going to work. They're thriving. They're excellent parents. They're meeting and achieving their goals. They're blowing past their goals. And then something happens.
Addiction.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be addiction. They're at the club, right? Or there's a loss. There's a family loss. Yep. There's a breakup. There's some type of trigger that happens in their lives that is a setback, and they fall down several rungs of the ladder. The good thing is, just like what he was saying with his mom, every second is a chance. Those seeds we plant. And for us, we don't get to decide when those seeds are going to germinate. All we can do is decide to plant the seeds. That's our job. Plant the seeds and hope that they take root and they germinate. We just can't say when they're going to germinate. Now, the more that people are around us, the more we can water that plant, put fertilizer on the plant, and hopefully it will grow strong and it will grow quickly and be as resilient as we know the plant can be, to speak in metaphor. But that's where I see the biggest issue. It's like, I'm good. I don't need, the support anymore. And folks go off and do it on their own. And It's one of the things I was telling someone the other day. It's like I've had the same phone number for more than 20 years. And my landline was my home phone, which is Gather Together, Grow Together's mainline, right? The 360-373-3000. And the reason why it's really important for me to keep the same post office, the same phone number, is there are times when people need to reach back to me 5 years ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, and say, hey, I need you again. And I want to be there for them. And so I try to make myself not hard to find in that regard. So no, this is one of the at least 15 success stories of Rock the Block, getting folks that are off the street, out of homelessness, out of addiction, and it takes some extraordinary means to do that. Shout out to Kimmy, who has made different ways for folks to donate and support. Because again, a lot of us, this is an ancillary duty, right? Don Michelle runs Socks Box. I'm G2, right? You got Kimmy, who's at Harborview. You got Kelsey, who's down at Gets at Public Health. You got Jocelyn, who's Prayer Warrior, and she does a lot, and Kelly, and Tim, and who do I leave out? And Bailey, right? An exhaustive list of all the different things that Bailey does. It's not necessarily that we have some kind of earmarked budget to do this particular work. And in the short run, we can make it happen. In the long run, it's not sustainable. But it's a model that does work, and it's radical.
Alexa, set a 30-minute timer.
30 minutes.
So these are the things that need to happen. And if we can influence and encourage other nonprofits and other organizations that are doing this work and help to support them, if we can help and encourage city council and the mayor to show them tactics and strategies that have borne fruit. And it's like, hey, it's Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come, right? Some things we don't have to reinvent the wheel on, right? There's a lot of good agencies out there, KCR and BHA and KRM and KMH and KCR and on and on and on, right? Scope and Heart and what's the other one? Shout out to oh man, I'm forgetting them. Oh man, y'all know who you are. There's 3 of y'all, and y'all do the work. If it comes to me, I'll say it. But there's so many different organizations. The benefit that we have is we can color outside the line, right? We're not beholden to our own, to the organization that we're part of, mainly because many of us started our organization. So it's kind of like, well, we do what we want, But when you're grant funded or contracting, those dollars have to be spent in certain ways. That time has to be spent in certain ways. And unfortunately, where it looks like, hey, these organizations should be doing more and they should be doing this, there's just certain things that they can't do. We can't do it this way as much as we want to, right? All we can do is do what we can within the lines and then advocate upward for change, right? And so we need a medical detox. Is that what the word is there?
Yeah, medicated detox. Yes,
right.
Sir.
We need that. We need that here, right? Not 2.5 hours away. We need it here, right? We need a system to move people from the street into detox, into support, right? And everyone isn't going to have the skill set and the tools that Rich expressed, right? That chutzpah, that go-get-itness, right? To make the phone calls, right? It can be hard, right? Pride is a powerful thing. And now you want me to cold call this agency and say, hey, you know what? I find myself here in my life and I need some help. And do you have a space, right? I mean, many people feel like they don't deserve it, right? They're not worthy of it. And you're telling them to make the phone call. That's tough. That's hard. So, I hope this can be enlightening and a glimpse in. And through Rich's story, you don't see a tent. You don't see urine and feces. You don't see needles, or you don't see foil. You don't see, you don't smell drugs. You don't hear fights. You don't hear, right? It's so much more than that. And that can be hard to see, especially if you're negatively impacted from that. And absolutely, that is, we can't have that, right? We can't have, you know, the Marvin Williams Center. We can't have residences. We can't have businesses that are negatively impacted by the epidemic of homeless and what it causes. And what I want folks to know, especially here in this county, is when you look at Oakland, when you look at Chicago, when you look at New York, when you look at, you can go to any major city, Portland, Seattle, right? You see how bad it is. You see how bad it is. We have an immigrant issue here in this country, in Chicago and New York, on YouTube. It's 30 million a month, I think, is what Chicago is spending right now. Bremerton doesn't have that kind of money. We don't have that kind of money. So we have to do something that isn't going to be that costly without just locking folks up, because that's not going to work either. That's tremendously expensive. So you can spend it one way or you can spend it another, right? Well, we can lock them up. We don't have to see it. Or we can do what we're doing and we're just kind of throwing dollars away. We're not really using them effectively. Or we can find another way to spend the money in an effective way where we're not having this ballooning expense that really goes forward to really put a hole in this issue, to really decrease the numbers, to put people back flat on their feet and strong. And those are the ones that are still strong, right? Rich isn't 40 yet. But like you said, there are 50, 60, 70-year-old people that are down on MO King. They're not working. They're not going to have that capability. They're not going to have that capacity. But they also need to be taken care of. And there's a victimization that comes from, hey, like Rich said in his story, I may want to stop, but man, that pain is going to come. It's about to get cold. I don't want to feel the cold. I don't want to feel the heat. I don't want to feel the withdrawal. What's on the other side? What's my support system? Do I have one? Do I even know that all these things are there? Do I have the capacity to even process that in the middle of my addiction? There's so many different things. But if we could put a human face to it, deal with it from a humanistic standpoint, this is where the difference comes. So we will be downtown at 9 a.m. setting up. We're probably gonna be cooking here for another couple hours, right? Because we got a lot to make, and it's just me and Rich today for our Rock the Block Bremerton Belly Buster burritos. Woo, that's a mouthful. Say that twice. I'm glad that you guys were able to tune in. I ask if you would do me a favor, subscribe to The Conduit on YouTube, share this video out on Facebook and YouTube, and ask other people to tap in, right? I truly believe that the solution is with the community, right? It can't be with 7 people from city council. It can't be from the mayor. It's not going to be from the organizations that exist here. It's not going to be from the individuals that are here, right? We can all do what we can do. But if 10 or 11 people can have the audacity to come together and try to make change and get 14 or 15 people off the block with the support that's around, right? Imagine what it looks like if we really organize and volumize, right? Marvin Williams Center can grow and thrive and do what its mission is. The businesses downtown can thrive. Tourism can thrive. Property values can rise. People can feel safe. Children will be safe. People will be taken care of. Basic needs, shelter, food, healthcare, access to resources. It's really not crazy, really not big. We just have to say, you know what? As a people, as a society, as a community, this is what we value most, is each other. We want to make sure that each other is okay. All right? All right. So for Rich, I am Marwan Cameron. This is a special edition of Cameron's Kitchen. Rock the block, gather together, grow together, the conduit, whatever, conduits. Man, we'll see you next time. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll be down on the block. Whether or not I've got a piercing migraine or not, I can put my glasses on, but I didn't want Rich to tell his story without being able to see my eyes. And when someone talks about all the pain that they've gone through, it's like, okay, I think I can even handle a little bit of pain of not wearing my glasses for a minute. When can choose to do these things, or as the standard, our city does nothing? We could choose to do these things, or yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I think, you know, Justin, my philosophy has always been, I grew up in Seattle, and as a pejorative, right? Because I was a Seattleite when I first came here. My attitude was, man, Bremerton is like podunk 20 years behind, right? Everything is just so slow in Bremerton, right? You say, hey, this is what's happening over here. We should do this. We should do that. And they have to have a meeting to have the meeting about the meeting on whether or not they should think about maybe doing something sometime in the future, right? That was my experience when I first moved to Bremerton and started getting involved, either with the Navy College or at OC and just, being a community person and doing the work in all the different capacities that I do now, right? That has always been my gripe, my consternation, the thing that has caused me angst. However, right, I can Monday morning armchair quarterback it. I can be a complainer and just say, hey, this is wrong. They should be doing this. They should be doing that. And I will do that. And I will say that. And I do that. But at the same time, I also can activate myself and my resources around me and make my ripples count for something, right? It's using your power for good, using your powers for evil, or being apathetic and not using your gifts that God gave you at all. And so for me, I'm at a point in my life where I've chosen to activate the gifts that God gave me in whatever capacity that I can to try to make a change in what that is. Will I make all the change that I want in the world? No. Will I make some change? Yes. Will it be profound? Absolutely. How do I know? Because people like Rich tell me. So I know it works, right? And that should be enough to keep you going and saying, hey, where's the next Rich? Where's the next Rich? Where's the next Rich? And that's it. So join us. Join us, everyone. We could do so many wonderful things together as a community. We do not all have to agree on, what we need to do or how we need to do it. But we know there are things that we need to do. And we could just start attacking those things a little bit at a time. Think outside the box. Don't be afraid to try something, right? The true failure is in not trying anything at all, right? We can be wrong. We can say, hey, this is the direction we think we should go. Let's try it. And then, it's not a trying without thought. You think about it, you try it. This is an emergency, right? If I'm hurting, if I'm sick, if my daughter's sick, I don't want people to think about what we might be able to do next year in 24 or 25. I want them to try and do something now. Because at least I can say, you know what? Man, that didn't work, but man, they actually care about my daughter. They're actually trying to do something for her, right? And at least by trying that, we know that doesn't work. Or we could take elements of that and we can put it into the other thing that we shift to, right? Yes, we need to be good stewards of money. We need to be fiscally responsible. But at the same time, we're not going to get out of this without spending money. It's going to take money. It's going to take resources. How we use those resources, we need to be intentional about, but we cannot be afraid to use those resources to make a permanent change. Will we abolish homelessness? Will we abolish addiction? No, because there's some macro things that will need to happen to do that. But we sure the hell can put a hellified dent in it. We can drop it down 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. And again, the nation is waiting on a city, on a county, on a state to find the solution and say, we did it. Here's the model. Let's go. Absolutely. We cannot be afraid to shift resources as well. Absolutely. And I think, people don't often think about the cost that it's costing now, right? What is the cost of ML King and Broadway and the encampments existing now? What does that cost? Because it's not the city and the county not spending anything. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are going toward the effort now. Whether you're locking people up, whether they're tied up in the legal system, filling out paperwork, judges, court clerks, right? Staff, jail staff. All of this is a cost. Resources, organizations. Money's being spent already. We just need to shift and try to spend it in some different ways. And look to the Mavericks on what they're doing and saying, okay, now we can't get with that. That's kind of working. Let's see what we can do there.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yeah, please.
And with saying that, yes, there is a lot of cost that's going out to help the homeless and the people that are out there on MLK or whatnot, staying on the block in these tents. But you know what? What happens is once that effort is made and people make that decision, like I have, now you have a functioning citizen that's paying taxes again. You know, we're back to you know, giving back. So it's not without, you know, the cost is not without going unsaid. You know, there's some, you know, people are giving back, you know, like,
yeah,
I'll be able to give back. I'll be able to give back my time, my love for the people that have brought me to this, you know, that have spent that time and that energy put forth into, you know, helping me out, you know, and here I am, I'm trying to, you know, give back to the community right now as we speak.
Each one teach one, right? I'm going to amend one thing that Rich said. Just because you may not be a taxpayer does not mean that you don't have value. I've heard that at city council a lot, like, hey, you know, these taxpayers. When you really look at it, there's a high percentage of people in this country that do not pay taxes. Elderly, disabled, youth, folks that are no longer in the job market. There are millions upon millions, tens of millions of people that aren't taxpayers. So I don't look at, you know, being a taxpayer as being this virtuous thing, right? Speaking as a taxpayer myself. Yes, again, we do need to be fiscally responsible, but we must spend. We have to address it. We have to do things that work. I was just going to get to that, right? You want a tax shelter, you're deferring taxes, right? You're getting tax credits, property tax credits, first-time home buyer. You know, there's all kinds of ways that folks decrease their tax burden. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of, you know, we the taxpayers, right? How about we the citizens? We the citizens. That's what I'm concerned about. All right. Well, we got to get to work. So, and I need to drink some water because my head is pounding. So for Rich, I am Marwan Cameron. I'm Mr. C. Whatever you want to call me. Don't call me late for dinner. All right, conduits. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. We'll see you tomorrow on the block.